It's MahMah Tea, back with another one. Woo, I'm just sitting here once again in my little office getting these downloads. I was putting together some videos and working on them. And all of a sudden, things just started hitting me left and right. So I said, hold on, mama. Let me just hit this record button so we can get this down here for the people. First thing that came to my mind was, we so reactionary as a people. We react to everything they doing. There's a lot of conspiracy theories going on about flat earth, round earth. I always told y'all, don't matter, we own it. But then I got to thinking about this thing called pole shifts. And I said, okay, they've been pushing this thing, pole shift, for a long time. Global warming, global cooling, all this kind of stuff. Edgar Cayce maps, all these maps they putting out of how the world gonna look after the pole shifts, the Great Reset, all of these things they pushing at us, right? And here we are reacting to it. So when you look at these maps, whether it's by Edgar Cayce or it's by the government, they could be one and the same, but anyway, they got this country over here divided into like 3 parts. Eastern, Central, and Western, divided by bodies of water. Makes me wonder. Some say the pole gonna shift, it's gonna create the waters to move, and the Mississippi to wide, and it's gonna create all these floods, and this is the reason why we're getting all of this, because the pole shift and this, that, and the other. But when you start digging into why the floods is happening, if waters are coming out of nowhere, is this the earth doing it? Or is it man-made? Because they created dams and levees all over the place. Somebody told me a long time ago that the Mississippi went from east to west, not north and south. They won't talk about that. So they created these dams and places to change the flow of these rivers. Now, that's if the world was round, like y'all say, and then the axis shift, and it's going to create all this devastation. And they created the maps of what it's going to look like afterwards. Okay. Now we got the flat earth to say, well, the world is flat. This and that. We live on multi-dimensional planes, this, that, and the other. Ain't nobody ever been outside this planet. Woo, woo, everything fake, woo, woo. No, okay, so I take all of that into consideration. And I get to deep dive, and I say, well, if the earth is flat, then I guess the poles ain't going to shift. And if the poles ain't going to shift, what these maps mean then? And all the maps we got just about written by the government, so the powers that be. So everything we know about what everything look like come from them. Even after events take place. They already tell you what it's going to look like. How you know what it's going to look like unless you going to make it look like that? How you going to make it look like that? What if all the dams you created, all these levees that's all over these cities, you deliberately destroy them? Then what happens to all that water you holding? Where you built the dams and you built the levees, then you can actually see the destruction that would take place and what it's going to look like. Is it going to look like the maps you made? So that leads me to believe that you are deliberately doing this. And somehow you got to create a psyop with the masses and push your agenda so we can say the shit over and over again. This is how you get your power, don't you? You put out an idea, you push it through your mass media, you put certain people in place to say it that can affect a lot of people. And next thing you know, everybody's saying it, so then guess what? That becomes the reality. Could it be that? Am I thinking too much into this shit? Because that's the shit I do over here. I think maybe too much. Anyway, so these are 2 dynamics, 2 different perspectives that I'm looking at. One is a Happens every 25, 100,000, whatever zero you want to put at the end of the hell. They don't even know what date we really in. Is it happening that way, or is it happening the way that you were constructing it to be? Because if you divide this nation into 3 parts, that means everybody is surrounded by water, what makes you an island. Would that make us a little bit more easy to control? You be able to mobilize us a little bit better? That's one thing. The other thing is back to us being reactionary. So, everybody say, move away from the coast. They're going to flood out the coast. Move away from the Mississippi. They're going to flood out the Mississippi. Move away from this and that. So now we all packing up and moving. Doing exactly what they want us to do. Makes me wonder about that shit. Now, we all move over here. We all move over there. We all move because we scared to death of all the shit they are programming us to believe. Here we go doing shit. Now everybody over here, sitting there waiting for them to tell us what else they gonna do for us to react in the way they want us to react. All of this seemed a little lopsided to me. I don't know. All this shit gonna happen the way they say? Does it always happen the way they say? There's no intervention whatsoever from the other 99%, which is us. The 1% running the whole show, calling what y'all say. So the 99% of us running over here. 1% say, they ain't gonna carry it over here. 99% of us go over here. What the heck? Does this make sense to y'all? Don't make sense to me. I always wonder, why can't we pull the weight around here? Why can't we turn the tables? And I think we did a little bit of it. Remember when they was talking about that hurricane level 7, 8, 9, 10 that was heading to Florida? All the people got together in this meditation and mass, and all of a sudden that thing turned into a 3 or a tropical storm and didn't do nearly the damage that they wanted to do. What happens when we put our minds together as a collective? Can we shift the paradigm? Makes you wonder. Speaking of shifting the paradigm, have you ever had these thoughts? You thinking of something, and then all of a sudden it just happens just as you thought it. You think of somebody, within 5-10 minutes they calling you. You just thinking of it and it's happening. That's kind of powerful, ain't it? Especially when all of us is getting this information. Many of us got the download that said, y'all stay out this shit. Where'd that come from? Who's trying to connect to us on the higher realm to give us instruction? And there's only certain of us. Now, some of y'all say, I say too, they say color don't matter. It's about energy and frequency. You know? I'm sorry, baby, but I think I'm going to have to rethink some of that. Not to be racist, but there is something about color and the people that color is attached to that make the whole world attack it. Hair texture, color. There's an energy that's connected to the color. Now, yeah, we in the physical world. Material world. So this body that holds this physical material energy is connected to something. Some people know it. And I think they finagling with it. Reason why I say this, baby. Many years ago, not too long ago, there's a man that's been the head of music industry for a long time. He kind of old and decrepit now, acting like he don't know nobody when the scandal hit, and y'all can figure it out. But he was a part of a study. These Ivy League schools got together and they did a study and asked them, who's going to be the future of music? When they went and did their study and their research, they found out that it was black people. Because they knew that music resonates with the planetary energy of Neptune. Neptune is an outer planet that deals with spirituality and the subconscious mind. So if black people will be the dominant force of music that rules the subconscious mind, they'll be able to tap in and reprogram the masses. Well, lo and behold, honey, they couldn't have that shit, so they went ahead and they started gathering up all the producers, all the independent labels, and started changing the music and changing the lyrics, building up their prison systems, and now they utilize the power of black music, but manipulated it and cast a spell over many of you that put you either on drugs, in jail, or in the grave. Using taboos and all kinds of things that have you practicing rituals, using heads of executives to perform these little exclusive parties that got you doing all kind of shit, and tapping into these drugs that make you do wicked things. I know I'm going all over the place, but I'm coming on back. I was talking to a friend of mine. They was talking about back in the every 80s, 90s, 2000s, they always bringing in the influx of this new drug, right? Early in the 70s, Black Power, Black Panther, all of a sudden heroin hit the streets. In the 80s, we was getting green, black, and red in. Honey, we was talking about consciousness. Crack hit the streets. Then we getting in the 90s and the 2000s, and X hits the streets. Now we in here, you name one, all these different things they doing, Percocet, all this kind. Think about it. And who's the dominant force in music? See, this is why I say there is something to the color. And not to be racist, but there's something about us. Everybody got melanin, but now we're figuring out about there's another component in that thing that's connecting us to something higher and stronger. And as long as we distracted doing what they say, we moving masses, even in a detrimental way. Now I'm getting back to something. Our minds coming together collectively and shifting this paradigm. You know, they using time machines. Now, I heard there's a war going on between these two men in the White House. And they both time jumpers, and they got books when they was kids, and they in and out and using Tesla this and this and that and the other. So they fighting over this technology. Hopping in and out and using CERN and all kind of stuff to change timelines. So they fighting between each other's timeline. This is why the ancestors say, stay out they shit. Because their timeline ain't got nothing to do with your timeline. And this is why I say this, baby. All the machines and gadgets that they need, you have them organically. You just been so distracted utilizing it for what they say and not for what your higher self is trying to tell you to do. This is why when you think of something that's happening, when you see something that's appearing, but they got to get you to see what they want you to see so you can make the shit that they want happen and appear. This is all just theory, speculation, my POV. Okay? Don't mean that this shit is real. You can't find this in the book. Like I keep telling you, this shit is coming out the top of my head. And I'm sharing it with you. It could be real, it could be fake, but I think there's something to it if you dig in deep enough. Okay. Now, I'm going to tie this into Mr. Kendrick Lamar. Honey, this is what I mean. They could plan and jump through hoops and timelines all they want. And they got their little agents in place that's promoting it that look like us. So we can continue saying it to continue on and perpetuate the spell. But some of us are here to be spell breakers. And you know who we are. They know who we are. It's because we ain't messing with them. I'm going to leave that right there. Anyway, back to what I'm talking about. Mr. Kendrick Lamar. That boy is a genius. And I'm going to tell you what, honey, Gemini, you can't mess with the Gemini because you don't know whether they're coming and going. That's that Mercury energy that's connected to them. The messenger of the gods, honey. And what a message he's delivering. They don't know what to make out of that boy. And that's good. Because you think he going one way, honey, that boy going to flip onto the other side of the twin and go another way and flip back over. Honey, he going to run circles around that ass. That's why I love him. Now, I'm going to tie this in and let y'all know we in control of this thing way more than you realize. And I hope by the end of this video, you going to realize how to tap in. Now, earlier I was talking about how you starting to see these things and they appearing. How you starting to say these things and they happening with the quickness. Why you got to watch your words and watch your thoughts. But if you get on the right frequency, you can change your timeline. Now, they got the two men in the house fighting over timelines. Little boy cursing out the president in his own damn office and using hand signals, all kind. Got everybody focused on that shit, not realizing that there's something else going on here. Mr. Kendrick Lamar. He did the halftime show at the Super Bowl, the first time the president of the United States sitting there watching the shit. He got the colors in there, Samuel Jackson, all these people, hundreds of thousands of people decoding this, pumping it out on the airwaves, on the streams, on the lives, on every social media platform available. Pumping it. We all saying it. We all seeing it. We all saying it. Don't you know what's happening? That in itself is changing the timelines. Changing it so much that I heard, don't know if it's true, that the man who came there to watch the whole thing with looking like that, somebody said that he pooped on himself. Had to run up out of there. He pooped on himself. What did he see? What did he feel? What shifted in that moment in time when he saw that boy, all black people on that field, all that melanin and all them colors and all that symbology and the message that Gemini was sending all over the place, utilizing the power of the Capricorn, which is Samuel Jackson, as he sits there as a Gemini himself. What shifted the timeline again that made him poop on himself? Baby, all this to say, you got more power than you know when you tap in. And what you start to see is appearing. And that is the weapon that they don't want you to utilize. It's the weapon of the mind. Hell with all they guns and they bullets and they flooding and this and that, honey. All you got to do is see it and say it in alignment with these stars and watch you manifest it into your reality with the quickness. Welcome to the age of Aquarius. You up now, baby. MahMah Tea. Y'all be good. Bye, babies. Your North Node. Your North Node is calling. Are you listening? It's the blueprint of your destiny. The coordinates to your highest evolution. This ain't just astrology, baby. This is soul alchemy. You ever feel like you've been here before? Like your spirit's been dancing through dimensions, searching for the path it was always meant to walk? That's where I come in. North Node Astrology is where the mystical meets the practical, where ancient wisdom decodes your purpose, your power, your next level. You, align with the stars, activate your faith, step into your divine assignment. North Node Astrology, because the universe has been waiting for you. Visit North Node Astrology and book your consultation with me today at sacredtea.net.